Okay, now that we're done with all these racks we showed in the last video, there's still an awesome backyard we gotta film. And we wanna see how you pack and ship to your customers. Let's go.
Trying to make like these little lagoons out here. We are running out of space right here. If I don't give out these size portions, I'll be drowning in moss.
All right, when you get outside, you're greeted with sensitivity plants, a bunch of koi, got some terrapins down there too. We're about to go through a hurricane.
Usually I've got a lot of different varieties of guppies that I like to do throughout the summer. I didn't have a lot of time this year. So this year it's been mainly just kind of throwing all my spare plants into bins, and then I've got a bunch of rice fish. And the main reason for the rice fish is just mosquito control. I do have some endlers and some guppies out here now, but in another month or two, it's gonna be too cold here. So by the end of October, all of the guppies will be inside, and there will be at least one rice fish in each one of the tubs. They're like a koi fish. They're meant to be viewed from up top. Some orange crown-tail guppies in here. And these guys actually survived over winter. So just like the rice fish, I have spread these out to a few tanks throughout the backyard. There's nothing in here. It's just for when I get home from some of the shows. If some of the stem plants don't sell, I'll throw them in here. Sometimes they do really well, and then I'll bring them to the auctions and sell them at my local clubs. And then in this pond, we've got some red tail Silverado guppies that I just got from one of my buddies, but they'll be moved inside as well. I'm not gonna risk these guys.
Let's talk about this sensitive plant. It's not as sensitive as the others.
No, this one, even after the rain, it's kind of holding up quite well. Super hardy. It likes to be rooted, but it will grow over the top of the water. But this one, being such a thick stem, it's not as sought out for as the Neptune Aquatica. This one did get battered by the rain. It is more sensitive. However, when you touch the leaves, they will close up even further. And it is also a plant that you're able to grow over the top of the water. These little Cheeto puff looking things are what cause it to float. And I could actually clip this off, and then that would start its own new plant, and it'll float on top of the surface.
Well,
they do need high light, so they make better outdoor plants. Yeah, it is pink.
That is so cool.
If you want to just give me a second. You touched the water in there, so you need to wash your hands.
Okay.
We've got a run of IBC totes around the entire backyard. I have a closed loop air system. The tubs have their very own air valve, so I can control the amount of air to them. They all got a sponge filter that's rated for 250 gallons of water, and I fill them up about to the 170 to 180 mark.
Okay.
And then each bin has a different colony of shrimp in them. I got multiple colors. This one's yellow. You can see the yellow tab. We got snowballs. So
that's why it's
the only
white.
clear one, yeah. And then the orange tabs are gone, and then these are blue. We've got some reds, a lot of reds. We deal with a lot of reds. And then some blacks, blues, and another tub of yellow until we get to the main breeding colonies in the greenhouse. But we've also got a lot of more plants outdoors.
Yeah, I love this.
Here in Florida, we got very high humidity, and it is kind of perfect temperature for aquatic plants year round. A local club member at his warehouse was getting rid of all these tubs and going into an automated system. So I got these for $2 a piece. And they're very sturdy. They got the handles that make them easy to move around. And I've just been putting some organic soil in them and peat moss, a good 50-50 ratio. We do a lot better with swords and crypts, but recently we've been doing a lot more stem plants as well, and they've been doing pretty nice also. You can see I just trimmed this for the club meeting that we had just done.
Yeah.
And it looked just like the portion I get from the nursery too. So I'm quite happy with it. And then we've got another 150 more tubs. So this is a project that I've been doing with my daughter. Every week we do about 4 to 12 different tubs. We add on. We are running out of space right here. There is some beyond the boundaries, but maybe this winter I'll get the entire backyard refabricated with the weed blocker and we'll start doing more tubs. In the winter time, it's not so hot, and we can probably knock out 40, 50 tubs in a day. It'd be a lot easier to harvest for sale, but I've got some massive Anubis that really likes the...
Oh, look, if you've never seen Anubias out of water, that's what it looks like.
And that's the smaller one. The other 4 containers of Anubis are packed. Like, they're a lot bigger.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
But I find that the Anubis does a lot better on the lava rock, where the crypts and swords, they do a lot better on the peat moss mixture.
This crypt looks so beautiful out of water.
And my favorite plant is going to be the Pogos helferi downoi. And this just takes off like a weed out here. And, you know, these are worth like $4 for just that one little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Pinnatifida, which is my favorite plant, is right over there.
Well, you want to walk around over to
let me just...
the tubs before we get in the greenhouse. We'll show off the rest, just in case it rains. We got the rain coming, so
it's gonna
we'll prioritize, right? This tub is basically my farm tub for my Amazon swords. I found that these like to send out more plantlets when they're underwater. So right there, I've got a baby Amazon sword that I can clip off and start a whole nother plant. And then there's Vienna guppies and the golden mountain cloud minnows in here too. So the mountain cloud minnows will stay in here year round. They do really good in the winter, but they don't really breed in the summertime. So I put the Vienna guppies in here because they'll breed during the summer and utilize this space a lot better.
Also, an infinite amount of tadpoles.
Yeah.
That's just...
Those are the Cuban tree frogs, and I'm trying to make like these little lagoons out here. So they'll lay eggs out here in these ponds and not in my shrimp tubs, because when they lay eggs in the shrimp tubs, the tadpoles don't eat the shrimp, but they eat all the shrimp food. And I want the shrimp eating the shrimp food.
All right, the terrapins.
So these guys were hatched from eggs of the pair that we have in the pool. I've kept these guys separated just so I can make sure they get essential food. And they're not even 3 years old. They're a lot bigger than the palm of my hand. So I'm quite happy with their growth. Thinking the rain probably battered down some bugs into the water, and they're probably eating on some of that. Some more of the crown tail guppies in here with one of the loggerhead turtles. He was out earlier.
Yeah, we got footage of him.
He likes hiding more than he does like showing himself. We just recently installed this water fill-up station for each one of the tubs. So now when I'm doing my water changes, I can drain each of the tubs, and then one by one I can slowly fill them up, and I don't have to move a hose from one tub to the next to the next to the next.
Okay.
These are our main colony of black rose. We've got our 24K yellow neocaridina line. These are where I got a perfect 10 out of 10 score at the Orlando Aquashella American Shrimp Contest. And after that, it's all downhill. So that's pretty much the reason why I stepped back and ran the contest. Because what do you do that's better than that?
That 10 out of 10, yeah.
So then we've got our blue diamonds in here. And then we've got some red cherries in this tub. Before, there was a 500-gallon tub, the ones that the turtles are in, and it was full of green jades. But all of the ugly ones were in the back having all the babies. So you can never get rid of them all. So to keep up on the quality, I moved them back inside in the tank where I can see all the ugly ones and eat them out of there. But I think I am gonna move them out back outside again and give them another shot. I put green emeralds in here, and these are doing really well. And I don't have a filter going in here. I'm kind of just testing to see how it'll do with just an air stone.
Yeah.
And so far the water quality is better than the two up top. Yay, they get more sun, but they're doing just fine with just an air stone. And we've got some yellow 24 karat neocaridina line, and then we've got the newer line of the ocean blue neocaridina out here. And like, I did a massive water change on here. They're just getting too much sunlight and green water, but there's a lot of blue shrimp in the tub. They're all coming up on the walls. There's that many of them. So usually I don't like starting to sell the shrimp until I can just take a net and run it across the sides without even feeding them. We've got our food bin here.
Okay.
And this is the almighty cull tub. So if we're going through and we're catching orders for the day and we don't have an order for those cull shrimp, then we go ahead and we throw all of the ugly ones into this barrel. And then when somebody wants like a mixed order of shrimp or something like that, we'll go in there and catch them for them. But other than that, the greenhouse produces about 1,000 neocaridina shrimp a week. It doesn't need any heater during the winter. and it's not the greenhouse keeping it hot because of all the shade cloth. It actually is quite cold in the greenhouse.
Okay. Yeah, I've had neocaridina's outside in a pond in Seattle, frozen water on top, and then they still produce for me in the summer.
Yeah.
And if anything, they were more red.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I didn't place this here. He actually uses Complete
Yeah.
to change all the water.
All of the tubs outside, all the neocaridina tubs have been used with Complete. That's the first product, and then the second one I got to give you guys commendment for is going to be the glass cleaner, because we had 438 tanks in the house. 26 of them were in the garage that didn't get hit, but 400 plus aquariums got used with the glass cleaner, and there's still like a quarter of the bottle left. And my daughter did it, most of it, and I figured she was gonna overuse it and not do a good enough job, and I was gonna have to go behind her. She got it pretty much all of the streaks, except for the higher tanks. I'm not gonna count those off, but any of them at high level, she knocked it out of the park, and there's still cleaner left. And I thought the house was gonna smell like cleaner. After 400 tanks, there's no smell. So I gotta give you guys props for that one. That's great. That's it outside. You can tell it's hot. I'm already breaking a sweat now.
It's hot.
That usually tells me I gotta go inside for like an hour at least. Right?
All right, so what are you doing here now? How do you pack your orders? Walk me through this.
So what goes through is the order gets placed on the website, and then Shelby goes and writes out all the orders, and then writes the exact order on the cup. So I go through, and this one is 5 red steel coals. We've got a deal going on where it's buy 5, get 2 free, and I like to throw in an extra one, so I'm gonna go ahead and catch 8 of them. And I don't sext or do anything. I really do just try to catch the easiest, around 1 centimeter in size. You can see they all move around and jump around, so this one, dead center.
What's crazy is you have none of the tanks labeled, so you just know exactly where they are. So you know he set them up himself or with the help of his wife. What would you say is your most prolific seller?
I would say the yellow 24 karat.
Yellow 24 karat.
Neocardinas. Yeah. Inside would probably be yellow King Kong or the tangerine tigers.
And how many orders are you packing per day per usual?
We usually do about 20 to 60 a week. We'll do like 10 on a Saturday, and then the remaining packages on a Monday. And then if somebody places a special request where they need the box delivered on a Friday or a Saturday, I'll ship out on Wednesday for them.
Okay. And everything's pretty much overnight or 2-day?
No, everything is priority shipped.
Okay,
if
priority.
they get there in 3 days, that's ideal, but they're good in the box for up to 2 weeks. So even if they do get a little delayed or end up overnight on Sunday or something like that, I'm not stressing about it. I just got to let the customer know, hey, I packed for a situation like this. And at the end of the day, we have less than 0.01% DOA with all the shrimp that we send out.
Wow.
So
here's a shot of them.
now I got a cup of 5 fire red cherries.
An instant classic.
And these ones are going to be a pain.
What are those?
The 10 red really coals. I got to be picky and stingy with them, but it's like down to the final culling. So there's not a lot of culls left in the tank, and the water's a little tingy.
Oh man, just everywhere you look, there's something amazing.
Square nets that are retractable, but the brittle net is what I was going for, because it's so much easier to just snipe and grab and then get them out of the net. The other one, you can catch them just as easy, but the hard part is just actually getting the shrimp out of the net into the cups. That takes a while.
Do you sell those nets on your website?
Yep. And so a shrimp cull just means, well, a cull in general means that it's not ideal for your colony. So for us, when we remove the culls, it's mostly because it's got the wrong pattern or wrong color, not necessarily it's got like a balloon head or a short skirt or deformed body or anything like that. So when you buy culls, you're not necessarily buying a bad shrimp. You're just getting a lower grade, lower quality color.
Okay.
And like really the easiest way to catch the culls is as the shrimp are swimming in from the back of the tank, you can pick out the ugly ones before they get to the pile. Give them a little bit of Cheeto. Cheeto? How do you say that, Jimmy?
Kato.
Kato?
Kato Morpha?
I guess. All right, so I caught my Opaula. They're gonna go in breather bags. Before I put them in the breather bags though, I got a little mesh. This is just a loofah that you get from the dollar store to take a shower with. You cut it up, you get the nice little strips. Put a nice little strip in each one. Take my breather bag, open it up a little bit, pour the cup in, run over to the tank, grab a cup of water, grab an extra cup of water for the next bag too. And then we're gonna make sure that we push the air to the top of the bag, tie it off. I got the sink right there. Spin the bag. Tie the knot. You want to check to make sure you don't really have too much bubbles. It's okay if you have like a little bit, but you don't want like a massive air pocket in your breather bag. And then we've got the rubber bands. And then first bag is done. Put the bag back on the first cup because this is 10 Opaula. And this one's only 5. We're gonna do the same thing with this bag. Get the water to the top. It's okay if there's a little water that comes out. We'll put extra water in the bag. And then they're ready to be boxed up. Portion of Christmas moss. We've got to get 2 portions for it. We've got our orange Ridley tank there. And because it's in my shrimp tanks, I know it's got 0 pests. It'll probably have some snails most of the time. This tank only has rabbit snails, so if you get a rabbit snail in there, you'll be really lucky.
Yeah, seriously. And do you run CO2 at all?
No CO2,
No CO2
on any of the tanks in the entire house.
Yeah, that is wild. Because look at this, guys. He's got dwarf hair grass. That's a good sized ball of moss. That's 1 portion?
So it's 2 portions.
Okay.
But yeah,
Dude, that's so good.
if I don't give out these size portions, I'll be drowning in moss. So
Not a bad problem. Everybody loves some moss.